So one brand new rumor slash leak floating around online is the idea that 2023 or 2024 will hold some kind of new iteration in the Super Mario Bros. Series. And while the source that this particular leak slash rumor doesn't have me all that hopeful that the information is accurate, I do think that with things like the Super Mario Bros. Movie coming out in 2023, that we will likely get something Mario revealed and announced soon. And in today's video, I want to boot up the last 2D iteration of Mario on the Nintendo Switch and have a broad conversation on how I personally believe Nintendo will handle both 2D and 3D Mario games going into 2023 and beyond. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below. Hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. As I mentioned, guys, today we are taking a look at the conversation and the idea that maybe 2023 is actually going to be a year for Mario to make a really big return, because if you think about 2D and 3D Mario games, both of them, it's been a long time since we've gotten anything brand new. Granted, we did see Bowser's Fury, which I would call something of a beta test of what a open zone type of Mario game might look like in the future. That was attached to, of course, Mario 3D World, which was ported over from the Wii U as well, which this is also obviously a Wii U port as it has U in the title. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe is the last true, like, straight up 2D. Well, we just get a mushroom and lose it right away. Oh well, we'll struggle through this icy level together. But this was, really the best looking and furthest along in the new Super Mario line of games. And I think that some fans definitely feel like it is time to move on to something a little bit more creative than just the new Super Mario Bros. Games. And maybe that's why we've actually seen the amount of time since the last release that we have. And I do think that with things like the Mario movie in 2023, that we are likely going to see a ton of support for the plumbers. So I personally believe we will get some kind of Mario game. Now, I don't put a whole lot of stock in the actual person who's giving us the information saying that yes, it will be out in 2023 or even 2024. First of all, that's such a broad, likely statement just to make, but once upon a time, I may have treated it with a little bit more attention, but Zippo has taken to his blog post to update and basically put in information that he knows that there's been a Mario game in development for roughly 3 years. It's going to have Mario, Peach, Toad, and Luigi all playable, which, notice that Peach hasn't been a playable character in quite some time in a Mario game, so that will be an interesting thing to see if that is accurate info. I think that it is less likely that Zippo has any kind of info, and I think it's more likely that it's just time for the new Mario game. You know what I mean? Like, it is, we're gonna get something, and whether it's 2D or 3D or both, I could actually, if I want to go down a speculation rabbit hole just a little bit, I could very likely see Nintendo launching something like a 2D Mario game right around when the movie launches, when everybody's kind of talking about Mario in the mainstream. We have a new Nintendo World theme park, Universal Nintendo World theme park opening in LA in February of 2023. We know that. We know February is also likely the month when we will get the next Nintendo Direct, and I could 1000% see Nintendo promoting some kind of 2D Mario game that will bring back, not Super Mario Maker, not a new Super Mario Bros., maybe something entirely brand new that's in the 2D universe, and maybe something that's a little bit more creative than what just the new games did with their level layout and level design. They almost have to do something a little bit more unique with 2D Mario now, especially with all of the creativity that we've seen with games like Mario Maker 1 and 2. It will just remain to be seen, when this project is revealed, if it's revealed at all. I mean, clearly, nothing's for sure until Nintendo announces it. We might not see 2D Mario games anymore, but I think that there's still a spot for them alongside of 3D Mario games, especially when you look at a year like 2022. And while it had, so many great, fantastic Nintendo Switch games, you did realize that there was definitely a missing point when you look at the lineup of games for your Mario and Zelda type fans out there, and sometimes those are even different fans. I happen to be a big fan of both series, although Mario comes nowhere close to The Legend of Zelda for me personally, but it's still something that, I enjoy booting up a Mario game and playing it together. Not to mention, or playing it alone or together, this is a lot of fun to play together, to be quite honest. The co-op with up to 4 players on screen at the same time gets super chaotic, and that's always a ton of fun to kind of go through with friends. It almost creates a Mario Party type of frantic chaos going on, trying to walk away with the crown and be essentially the leader of the pack, but then you're also like trying not to screw over the other players and work together and not hop on their heads and all that stuff and take the items for yourself. Like it's a lot of fun to play this game with friends and family, and I can see them sticking to something like having the option for co-op play in future 2D Mario games. So I think that's likely that like we get something somewhat similar to this, but I do think there needs to be some kind of new not gimmick, but almost just something new in terms of gameplay that will kind of evolve the formula to make it not feel like just too much of the same. So I'm here for it. I think that the Zippo post is very like non-likely to be accurate info, but more rather it's just an interesting conversation since it is being talked about online to discuss the possibilities of what it would look like if we got 2D Mario brought back. And the good thing is I think that whether it's 2D or 3D, I would bet my money that sometime in somewhere in 2023 we will see Mario support. Now, what do they do on the 3D end? That's going to be a really interesting conversation too, because I think that that's definitely, after Odyssey, we need something major in terms of a 3D Mario. Like, is it just another Odyssey 2? They could go that route. I almost felt like I guess I don't know what the overall perception was from everyone, but I definitely felt like Bowser's Fury was Nintendo kind of doing a little bit of a research project, a beta test, if you will, of what that kind of 2D classic Mario or 3D Mario rather would look like in an open zone form factor. We saw Sonic do it with Sonic Frontiers, and I think that that's kind of what Bowser's Fury was. And whether or not it was just a test to kind of start getting the idea process going, and then we ultimately see something come to fruition from that or not, I mean, that's all up for debate and speculation. But I definitely do think that we're going to get Mario's kind of quote unquote Breath of the Wild or Sonic Frontiers moment, where it's either open zone or it's open world. I don't really see how they would make an open world Mario game, like fully open world, work correctly. Like, it's not, I mean, it would just be so different. I mean, it's definitely possible. It might even be likely that we see that happen one day. But I think more likely the next step for Mr. Mario is definitely to go into an open zone layout, and then maybe one day, just for fun, we throw him into open world. I don't think you have to do all that crazy stuff with Mario. Mario is just a fun 3D platformer or 2D platformer at the end of the day, and you don't really have to overcomplicate it. I just think you need something just a little bit different from what we've seen to keep fans kind of, oh, of course, that was a timed deal. Something just slightly different for fans to kind of keep them engaged with newer iterations and releases for the franchise. So I really want to hear from you guys at this point on your personal thoughts on what we're going to see from the future of Mario. Do you actually think that we get things like 2D and 3D games both alongside each other in the future? Do you think it's more likely that we get only 3D going forward? And then really the big question is, timeline wise, when do you think we actually get anything new in terms of an official announcement from Nintendo? And is 2023 maybe the year of Mario? Like, I can definitely see them doing that with the movie and how big of a mainstream promotion that's going to be. Like, do you think that that's exactly what Nintendo's plan is? Or do you think it's maybe not anything quite that grand and we just have to kind of keep our expectations in line until Nintendo officially announces anything themselves? But regardless of your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today, I do look forward to hearing from you all in the comments down below before you leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around this topic. Go watch yesterday's video next if you haven't already, which is on screen right now. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.